Robotical?
Did I say
that
robotic?
That may be.
Robotical?
You said robotical.
Yeah, I might have, yeah. It should work.
You know, that's one of those.
Should work.
That's one of those accidental scholar possibilities.
Yeah.
Robotical. Because robotic is sufficient. Robotic and robotical, they'd both be adjectives. I think the AL is useless, which makes me think it's not a word, but somehow I think Webster's will save you some way, somehow.
I hope so.
With that one.
I hope so.
Nothing could save the Patriots on Saturday night. My God, it was incredible from start to finish. The first time in NFL history, regular season or postseason, that a team either had a touchdown or a kneel down on every drive of the game. No field goal attempts, no interceptions, no fumbles, no punts, no turnover on downs, just touchdown until victory formation. Incredible that it happened at all. Amazing and inexplicable that it happened against Bill Belichick's Patriots. Of all the teams in the NFL, past, present, or future, that we would not think this would happen against, it's Bill Belichick's Patriots. But the tone was set here with a play that looked a lot like the catch from 40 years ago. And Josh Allen said he thought he was throwing it away. Dawson Knox thought otherwise and jumped up and made the catch. That was the moment. That was the moment where it's like, the Bills came to play tonight. This is the Bills team we thought we were going to get from week 1 onward. Yeah, no doubt about it. I think the thing that, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. I don't know if the football world grasping what we're seeing here. I mean, first off, like you talked about, we've never seen anybody do that to a Belichick defense, let alone on a year where they were the number 4 defense in football and the number 2 scoring defense in football. That's insane. And then it's 2 games in a row where the team hasn't punted. They don't punt. They went into New England and did the same thing. And that game, at least they went to 4th down a few times and had to go for it and got it. This game, they never even went for a 4th down. It was machine. And here's the thing that I think everybody's got to look at it a little bit. Is Josh Allen the best player in football? I think it's a legitimate question. He's in that conversation. I know Mahomes is right there. Rodgers, of course, the way he plays and still playing at such a high level. But Josh Allen has games like this, and he's had a bunch of games like this, where I just go, I don't know if there's a better player in the game. Just the things I see, running away from defenders, stiff-arming defensive tackles, throwing touchdowns with defensive ends on his back, power running game, Cam Newton style, run over a guy for a 1st down. You know, stand in the pocket, make unbelievable decisions, not make one decision the whole night that was even in danger of being intercepted or anything bad, and just putting every ball on the money and, it's -8 degrees and no big deal. Again, the performance is phenomenal by the football team, but it's like Jerry Hughes said there. It's when you got 17 Allen at quarterback, I don't think they're that shocked because I think they see the things this guy is capable of doing on an everyday basis. This guy is a freak of nature and one of the most talented quarterbacks we have ever seen in football. He is that good. We'll see where it goes from here, but his talent is speaking for itself right now. So, and I agree with you, but why did it take so long for him to have what we saw on Saturday night? Because, the naysayers going into the season, he's going to regress this year. He's going to regress this year. And then they were almost gleeful anytime he didn't have a good game. See, we were right. See, we were right. He regressed. I mean, he's not going to get an MVP vote. He didn't get an all-pro vote. He wasn't good enough week 1 to week 18 to be among the top in the NFL. He didn't make the Pro Bowl team in the AFC.
Well, we know.
Right?
We talked about that. That was insane. I mean, the fact that Lamar Jackson made that over Josh Allen is insane. That's wrong. They got it wrong. You're right,
So
Mike.
why did it take so long?
Well,
why did it take so long?
I think, one, they were really good last year. People study them. They're like, oh, wait, we got to worry about the Bills, so everybody catches up to the offense. The other thing is, I know we say what it took so long. He threw for 4,500 yards. He threw for 36 touchdowns. He threw 15 interceptions. I know that. He's the best running back on their football team, too. He's the whole team. He is the guy. Everything about the Bills is predicated around him. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think the supporting cast on the offensive side of the ball is that special. You've heard me say that. Diggs is a blue chip player. Allen's a blue chip player. Everybody else is just good. There's no another two receivers like a CeeDee Lamb and a Cedric Wilson, or you can go through other teams and go, whoa, they got 2 or 3 other guys. No. So that's where I think it took a little bit. And a lot of it's just predicated on him. And, of course, there's going to be some teams and weeks where he might not be on his game. They don't play as well as a team altogether. But I don't know if there's any team that's more reliant on one guy making magic happen than them. I mean, I know Kansas City and Mahomes are right there in that conversation. But at times I think they ask more of Allen than Kansas City asks of Mahomes right now. And that's a bold statement because I love Mahomes too. But I think that's why it took so long, Mike. Sorry for that long answer there.
There was a sense early in the season. This was something I gleaned from our conversations during the games.
Yeah.
That maybe Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, was putting too much on Allen, trying to showcase Daboll for his next job. And we've seen coaches do that before.
Sure.
All of a sudden, you get smitten with your next job, and you do too much to showcase your skills, to showcase your best players, to advance your interests to get to the next level. I remember when Hugh Jackson thought he was moving back toward being a head coach again. We saw these funky formations in Cincinnati. I remember they put like offensive linemen out wide.
Yeah.
And this is a guy showing off. This is a guy who's trying to get attention to be a head coach again. It worked until he became a head coach again. But there was a sense maybe that Daboll was doing that.
He had some personal things going on, too.
Yeah, and maybe they woke up after week 13.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Maybe the low water mark was the Monday night game. The low water mark for them, the high water mark for the Patriots was the Monday night game and the wind and the rain. And it felt like the Patriots were the better team. It felt like the Bills had overachieved last year, and they were already handing the reins back to the Patriots. And maybe everything that happened after that was the wake-up call that came that night.
Yeah, I think there's something to it. It might be a little bit of their moment, like the Hail Murray from 2 years ago, where it's like that moment happened and that woke them up, and they're like, wait, we're better than this. Let's go. I look at that game, the second half of the Bucs game where they outplayed Tampa, to where I think that did propel them to go, wait, like we're better than this. We can play with all these teams and beat them. Like, let's go. And they've turned it around. But the defense is really well coached and creative. Leslie Frazier needs to be considered as a head coach. Brian Daboll needs to be considered as a head coach. Again, really good offense. Yeah, they stumbled. Again, I think the talent on the offensive side of the ball is a little overrated. But, I mean, man, if you're talking about a guy, again, where you want to know if he's got a system in place, has been in places with great right pedigree, came from New England before Buffalo, was in Alabama, has groomed a quarterback that nobody thought could be groomed. Nobody. You can't fix this guy. He's too wild. Maybe.
And maybe again.
Yeah, and maybe again. Right, exactly. So that's where I just look at Daboll, and I would think this did a lot to propel him forward to be in that, head coaching candidate position where it was a little quiet during the year because of some of the things you mentioned.
And absolutely, the performance on Saturday night gets him a job, and the Dolphins' job is the one that most people are talking about because he worked with Tua at Alabama, and they supposedly are now all in on Tua after
they're all
desperately
in. Right.
to get Deshaun Watson for months.
Right.
And it was – and you know what? I wasn't planning to go here, but let's go ahead and mention this. All of a sudden on Saturday morning, because it's playoff weekend and everybody's got their pregame shows and, there's going to be platforms for Shefty and the people at NFL media, all of a sudden the Dolphins are putting out the idea that it was all Flores that wanted Watson, that was it. Nobody else wanted Watson. It was all Flores. And now that Flores is gone, no more Watson.
Yeah.
Which is just
BS.
Complete
absolute
and total
BS.
BS.
Uh-huh.
Stephen Ross, owner of the team, is the one who wanted Deshaun Watson. If Brian Flores wanted anything, it was for this to be over because it is a distraction for the football team to have Deshaun Watson constantly hovering over the locker room and messing up Tua and keeping the rest of the team from buying into their quarterback because they're thinking that Deshaun Watson's going to come riding in on a white horse any day now to save the team. Once the trade deadline came and went. What happened? They started winning football games. So it's BS. And it's funny because at one point, Shefty tried to put the toothpaste back in the tube because another source told him that 100% they were on board for Deshaun Watson. Well, which one is it? The audience is left to figure out, well, which one is it? The truth is they all wanted him. The truth is Ross is the one who wanted him.
100%.
And the truth is they didn't make it happen. And now they're trying to make it look like the dysfunction washed out of the organization when Brian Flores was fired, which is a complete and total lie.
I'm with you. The Dolphins annoy me. I will be rooting against the Dolphins next year. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe if Brian Daboll goes there, I'll root for them. But there's a lot of things I don't want to root for. I don't. You know, the smear campaign that's gone on with Flores ever since they released him. What? You mean the coach that led you to the first back-to-back winning seasons in 20 years? You're going to smear him now? Like, it just makes no sense. And, yeah, they're doubling down. They didn't like the fact that the Deshaun Watson, some of the stuff didn't get settled the way they want, and I think that they backed off of it right there. Ross, Greer, whatever, they went that way, and that from that moment on, they doubled down with, we're going with Tua. I'm going to show you that I was right, that I'm an owner that knows nothing, but I'm all about real estate in New York, but I'm going to tell you who should be the quarterback. Get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. Wait, we can't get the guy we want. Keep him. Prove me right. I mean, that's what he's doing. It's insane. It's insane.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.